What does this point do for Leeds United, do you think, Robbie?
Well, you see Jesse there, he was fairly happy with it. We'll give them definitely confidence, knowing that, you know, the 5 points was 5 points from Everton. So give them confidence going to the Man City game too, because they're certainly going to need it, because that's going to be a tough game. But what I liked about Leeds today was just the way they battled, the way everybody battled. As Jamie said, when you've got people like Aylan, Phillips, Cooper and Dallas in your team, you know you have a real chance to survive.
I mean, the one problem, we talk about the 5 points, and it is a healthy lead at this stage of the season, certainly over Everton in the last relegation zone. But what they'll be hoping for is the goal difference, because that is a real problem for them. There's no way Burnley or Everton are going to get near Leeds as goal difference, so they're always going to be worse off. Yeah, so that could be a problem for them. I mean, you do look at the fixtures and you say tough games, but let's not forget 3 of the next 4 are at home. I know that the 2 tough big ones, Chelsea before the cup final also, Man City in between 2 Champions League semi-finals, and that won't be an easy game for either of those teams to go to Ellen Road. They're fighting for their lives, you know, the atmosphere. Man City's an half-5 game as well. Always sort of generates a better atmosphere in the evening game, so that won't be... It won't be as easy as that game maybe would have seemed a few months ago when Leeds were shipping goals.
We always talk about it in terms of how many wins they need, Robbie, but actually, because they've got that advantage, they can do it in points here and points there, can't they?
But listen, just because they're so organised now under Jesse, you can see them going to Arsenal, maybe getting a point. Playing Chelsea at home was always an interesting game at Ellen Road. So you can see them getting something out of that game. Brighton, you would expect them to probably hopefully get a win, even though, you know, Brighton are doing well. So there's definitely points on the board there for them, and I think tonight would have certainly given them confidence.
I interviewed Jurgen Klopp on Friday, and he mentioned about sort of when he used to manage in the relegation zone, and he said the only good thing is the teams around you never normally win, really. So even when you're down there, getting points is vital. And the thing that really stands out for me is Burnley. I think Burnley's, their actual draws, I don't know off the top of my head, but they've drawn an awful lot of games. They have, and yet they haven't won too many games, but if you can just keep like a little, you know, the clock just ticking, a little point here, a little point there, just moving up slowly. And the reason Burnley are actually outside the relegation zone is because they've drew 13 games. You know, it's a huge amount, and as I said, you can never sort of qualm about getting a draw. Look at Everton. Going into the Merseyside derby, the point they get against Leicester means that before the game they're not actually in the bottom 3. Obviously, Burnley's results change that, but those points are actually vital for teams down there.
And Crystal Palace will just be desperately keen not to get dragged into it. They'll feel like they need a couple more wins. On 38 points. Yeah, I think
if they get one win, I think they'll be fine. I think they're strong enough. Crystal Palace, I think the teams below them have tougher games, so I think they'll be fine.
And you talk about a goal difference. Crystal Palace have actually got a positive goal difference. I think I'm right in saying, I'll pluck this one from thin air, that they've never finished a Premier League season with a positive goal difference.
Well, that's something to aim for. But and again, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but it feels like a lot of seasons, even under the last few managers, that Crystal Palace have always been safe with about 7 or 8 games to go, and they've almost fell away towards the end of the season. Listen, I might be making that up. With Palace fans, I apologise, but it's always something that sort of stuck in my head, that the season's almost petered out a little bit. And I think there's no chance of them getting...
With the FA Cup semi-final as well.
Yeah, but what I mean is, sort of from now on, so they've done really well in that. Everyone's saying what a great season they've had. Now, what Crystal Palace don't want to do is almost finish the season where they finish 16th to 17th, where they sort of just drop off. And, you know, they've got no chance of going down. But I think, practically thinking, could we get to sort of where Brighton are? Could we sneak into the top 10?
Half, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they've got to be looking to do. And they don't want this season to peter out because, as I said, there's been a lot of positivity around it. The semi-final you mentioned, the style of football, the players they brought in at centre-back, Conor Gallagher as well. It has been really positive. And I'd say you just don't want it to fizzle out between now and the end of the season.
Leicester in 10th have got 42 points, incidentally. And the next highest team with a positive goal difference, you have to go all the way up to Wolves. In 8th place.
No, you definitely didn't have that there.
Yeah, I did. It's all the prep we do beforehand, it all comes out.